99.7 and hits 103 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM Facebook live stream, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Shine FM Akachi, Radio Max Takoradi, and Rage in Tamale. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, prices of fruit juice, wine, some alcoholic beverages, and other commodities expected to go up once President Akufo-Addo signs new revenue measures into law.
Already disposable incomes has been reduced. The ordinary Ghanaian is going to suffer.
Also, health experts worried as Ghana records increasing cases of diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular diseases.
And now what is most disturbing is that at first we used to say that those diseases were more seen in older persons. Now these diseases are being seen in young.
More as they push for a public food policy to regulate and monitor food intake in business.
Some oil marketing companies reduce prices of petroleum products at the pumps as Guel sells petrol at 12 cedis 65 pesos and 12 cedis 84 pesos for details. For diesel, details on the Joy Business Report.
Also coming up, it is criminal to tamper with a dead person's property without legal authorization from a court of law.
Now, if you are not an executor, you are not an administrator, you are not a beneficiary, you have no right to interfere with the property of the deceased.
We'll tell you more. I am Maame Esi Thompson. Thanks for choosing us. Now, the prices of fruit juice, wine, some alcoholic beverages, and a host of other commodities are expected to go up by an average of 20% once President Akufo-Addo signs into law the excise duty amendment bill passed by Parliament last Friday. The minority are opposed to the tax measure but lost the vote 137 to 136 after an NPP MP who was involved in an accident was brought in an ambulance to help the NPP majority get the numbers to pass the controversial tax measures. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante has more.
The Excise Duty, Growth and Sustainability Levy and Income Tax Amendment Bills had been opposed not just by the minority in Parliament, but by industry players as one which will significantly worsen the current economic crunch for citizens, but has been passed anyway. In particular, when the Excise Duty Amendment Bill is signed into law by the President, mineral water, energy drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, fruit juices will all go up by 20%. Deputy Finance Minister Abeno Siasare has been defending the measure.
There's an existing schedule. What government is seeking to do is to make sure we put some percentage on sugary items like the fruit juice that contains sugar. So government is also looking at protecting the health of its citizens.
The minority leader, Dr. Kisela Tuforsen, who led his group to oppose the taxes, warned that people will suffer.
Already disposable incomes has been reduced. The ordinary Ghanaian is going to suffer. This government is increasing the tax on application. Water, including mineral water and all in all descriptions, are going up 20%.
These tax measures are touted as key to Ghana getting an IMF loan, and it is expected that President Akufo-Addo will promptly sign them into law for implementation to begin. For Joy News, Kweku Asante.
Now, some legal practitioners, political and governance analysts disagree on whether Ghana's constitution should simply be amended to improve upon it or completely replaced with a new one that will meet present needs. This was the focus on the discussion on the 4th edition of the Joy Change Speaker Series on Saturday. That's more on the following report.
The discussion took off with former MP Inus Afuseni opting for a review and pointing to some specific changes.
The Electoral Commission shall be appointed by the President on the advice of the Public Services Commission with the prior approval of Parliament by a 2/3 majority.
Governance analyst Professor Bafua Jimandua focused on how legislators are voted into office.
By introducing proportional representation, a system where parties gain seats in Parliament in proportion to the number of votes that they obtain in election.
Former PPP presidential candidate Bridget Jugbeluku called for election of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives.
Returning power to the people for all Ghanaians to directly elect their districts, municipal and metropolitan chiefs without any interference of their operations from the president.
Activist Oliver Baka-Vomawo took aim at the constitution itself, calling for a new one.
We cannot view this call for a new constitution as some pet project where we assemble a few lawyers and friends of the Article 71 class to go and write somewhere. Give us back the Ghana that our fathers and mothers yearned for. Give us back the pride of belief in the possibility that Ghana is the greatest country in the whole world.
But private legal practitioner Isanan Ankoma believes even a perfect constitution can be abused if citizens are not vigilant.
How have we been faithful to this document that we once changed? If we have not been able to protect it, whatever we do, we will not protect it. It will just be another nice written piece of paper.
Now, Ghana is recording increasing cases of diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular diseases. Health experts say this is a cause for worry, especially as these illnesses usually result in stroke. Much as education on prevention is important, acting head of public health promotion at the Ghana Health Service, Maame Esi Thompson, says the most effective response to the disturbing trend would be a radical change in diet and lifestyles. He said this during a stakeholder meeting to determine a national response to these non-communicable diseases.
The main cause of these diseases has to do with lifestyle. At first, we used to eat our local foods. We used to exercise a lot. Now, what do we have? Children wake up very early in the morning. They spend long time in traffic to get to school. By the time they get to the house, it's around 6 p.m. They don't have chance to even play. They spend their times either watching TV or on tablets, in front of laptops, or on phones.
On his part, Director of the Institute of Leadership and Development, Benjamin Anabila, pushed for a public food policy which will regulate and monitor the kinds of foods imported into the country and also the kinds of foods sold on the market.
They are saying that the diet that we eat in Ghana is not that healthy. The healthier ones are more expensive when you talk about fruits, when you talk about vegetables. And we are saying that the healthier oils are more expensive. So people are resorting to the saturated trans fat oil, which is leading to cardiovascular diseases and stroke. And that is why we're saying that there should be a public food policy.
Benjamin Anabila is director of the Institute of Leadership and Development. Now, persons who meddle or tamper with the property of a relative who died intestate or without a will could be jailed a year or pay a fine of 250 penalty units that's accumulated to 3,000 cedis or both. That's according to Section 17 of the PNDC Law 111. The law only allows an executor of an administrator to distribute property of a deceased. Listen to lawyer Albert Jenfi of Total Legal Service on the law Sunday.
Now, if you look at PNDC Law 111, Section 17, it criminalizes any act of any person that seeks to remove, destroy, or otherwise interfere with the property of the deceased person. Now, if you are not an executor, you are not an administrator, you are not a beneficiary, you have no right to interfere with the property of the deceased. Now, if you're a beneficiary, you have no right to interfere with the property of the deceased before distribution. It would include using, dealing, administering the property of the deceased.
Lawyer Albert Jenfi is with Total Legal Service. Now, MPs representing their frontline say they are disappointed by the action of President Akufo-Addo's government in diverting funds meant for the construction of a bridge and some roads in their constituencies. The MPs say the funds are now going to be used to construct a portion of the Accra-Kumasi Highway. MP for Afram Plains North, Betty Nana Efwa Crosby Mensah says they will oppose the new arrangements.
In February 2022, it really excited the good people of Afram Plains North when the Minister for Finance, in collaboration with the Ministry of Roads and Highways, came to Parliament for an approval of a loan facility of 350 million euros for a bridge and a road construction within the Afram Plains and its environs. Unfortunately, today we are very sad to bring you this news that the government has the intention of relocating this huge amount of money from constructing the road from Adosu to Echiamanfrom to Donkokrom. The money is currently being allocated to build or to construct the road, that is the Accra-Kumasi road.
You heard MP for Afram Plains North, Betty Nana Efwa Crosby Mensa. That's how we end the bulletin. You heard in our top story prices of fruit juice, wine, some alcoholic beverages, and other commodities expected to go up once President Akufo-Addo signs new revenue measures into law. Business is up next with Daryl Kwal right after these messages.